up and sorting out white-collar crime in the country because it's very hurtful to our economy and it has affected all of us. So tutaendelea namna hiyo, and in fact we've just begun. Let me tell you, we've just begun. We are going to be tougher, more rough, and more focused in the things that we are doing so that we can sort this out, because the jobs for these young people you are seeing here are messed up because of the messes we have gotten into ourselves in. We are losing jobs because of this illicit trade. We are losing jobs because of revenue leakage. We are losing jobs because of corruption. We are losing jobs because of this nonsense about work permits and so on and so forth. So it's clean-up time. Let me be very honest with everyone. It's clean-up time. And we are going to work on it ruthlessly.
When Matiang'i came back from the USA, actually even before he came back, his name was all over the social media. People talking about the 6th Matiang'i. His pictures were circulating like fire all over on the social media. Conversations were being held on various platforms talking about Dr. King of Matiang'i, his good deeds in the country when he was a cabinet secretary. And actually, most people knew when Matiang'i comes, it would be a landslide. But now, suddenly, things have changed. Matiang'i is no longer the conversation. He's now as well struggling to get to where the youth are. What is the problem? What is the problem? That is basically what I want to dissect here on this particular channel. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Why is Dr. King of Matiang'i struggling to get the youth on board? Why? Suddenly starting afresh, like people never talked about him, like he never was in the hearts of the youth. First is the way he does his politics. When Matiang'i was coming, people expected the moment he lands in the country and the JKIA, it would be fire, youths all over welcoming Dr. King of Matiang'i. But he opted when he came to do things silently. Silently. Quietly. So the expectations of the youth went down. Also, Dr. King of Matiang'i has not engaged so much on very serious campaigns that actually get the youth on board. We are seeing him meeting leaders here and there, and that's very dangerous. According to me, if I was supposed to be in Dr. King of Matiang'i's team, I could first go to the people. After getting the people of the Gusii region, I go to the good people of Nairobi. You know, Matiang'i has not conducted a rally in Nairobi successfully. Not even one. He has not conducted a rally in Nairobi. And that is very dangerous. Neither has he gone to Mombasa. Even in Nakuru here, there's nothing significant that he has done. All the cities in Kenya, even in Kisumu. And that is, I feel, probably the big failure, that he needs to really wake up on that. So when I look at things from a distance, I feel that Dr. King of Matiang'i's nature of campaign also discouraged the youths to a greater extent. So the people who had a psych to get Dr. King of Matiang'i, the psych went down slightly because people felt like, are we forcing him? Does he really want this seat? So the nature of politics of Dr. King of Matiang'i has completely discouraged the youths. And I'm not just talking about the youth. Even people in Mount Kenya, most of them were like, let's have Matiang'i. Now, upon coming, Matiang'i is appearing to be different. And the thing is the Jubilee Party. You know, the moment he chose the Jubilee Party, he was associated with Uhuru Kenyatta directly. And during Uhuru Kenyatta's time, there are so many bad things that also happened. Like now, extrajudicial killings were also there, if you remember the Vayala. The cost of living was also high at that time. So it reached a point, it made the people who were supporting Dr. King of Matiang'i before, of Western Kenya, even Gusii, even some of them were from Central Kenya and many other parts of this country, getting discouraged like, so he's again working with Uhuru Kenyatta. So Uhuru Kenyatta is going to control him like So people are like, you cannot allow that to happen in this regime. So in a nutshell, Dr. King of Matiang'i's association with Uhuru Kenyatta made him to look like he's a project as such. So people in Kenya, once you are branded to be a project, as someone said on my show last night, you are done. You are finished. You are finished. So in a nutshell, I feel strongly that it is not ideal for Dr. King of Matiang'i to lose support because of the decisions that he makes. However, what was Swahili walisema maji yakimwagika hayazoleki. And I know mistakes committed cannot be taken back. But Dr. King of Matiang'i, if he has a better plan for the people of Kenya, people will get to see it, where he will get to the people, brand himself, and eventually get the acceptance that he had before he came back to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I want to talk about here is this. There's some dormancy that we are seeing in Dr. King of Matiang'i's campaign. People expected Matiang'i to be that vibrant guy. He tried to come out, but at some point he again moved back a bit. That is also not fair. That is also not fair. He needs to at least try to be the Matiang'i we usually see in the US. You see those campaigns that he does in the US, well organized, town hall meetings, speaking a lot of sense to the people. That is the Matiang'i the people of Kenya want. I wish Matiang'i could have embarked on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, another thing I think it is also the opposition wrangles. You know, the opposition have somehow turned against Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i. There are some youths from Luya region. If they see him anatembea away from Matiang'i, they're like, kuna shida. They are youth from Central Kenya. And in fact, I'm telling you, Central Kenya, there's a huge number that really support Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i. But when they see him against Rigathi Gachagua, or maybe away from Rigathi Gachagua, with people who are fighting Rigathi Gachagua, they to some extent feel like, no, this is not right. We are not getting the right leader then. So that kind of discouragement as well, it has also resulted to Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i struggling to get the support of the youth in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, another factor is also the tribal nature of the Kenyan politics. Matiang'i not becoming from a vibrant and a big community, it's also a big challenge. For him to get the vibrancy that Raila Amolo Odinga had, William Ruto had, Uhuru Kenyatta had, it's not easy. He must look for as many politicians as he can to come and at least add the numbers and also add the vibrancy within his campaign team. That is very essential. But I was very positive when I was interviewing the MC of Rigom Award, who was literally saying that Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i is going to win an election in this country because he's not because he's a kissy, but because he's a performer. And if they sell that well, I think that's the best thing that can happen. But I wish also he works well with the opposition team. You know, I interacted with someone from the Gusii region that if Matiang'i will not work with the opposition team, then it will be Kasongo's project. I feel strongly that Matiang'i should be in the opposition team actively and be able to wrangle those people and eventually emerge as the best within the opposition so that they cannot segregate him in any way. But if he tries to segregate himself right now, as I'm seeing some signs, eventually it will appear like Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i he is creating he will create an excuse in a nutshell to be fought by the opposition side. And there should be no excuse in that he joined Jubilee and people will call him project and associate him with the bad things in Jubilee government. And then he goes ahead to create another problem within the opposition by joining William Ruto or maybe by going independent, and then it will be branded as a project of William Ruto again. It will not be a good thing because Matiang'i does not have two shots. He has this one for 2027. He has to be on the ballot for him to survive politically. But if he will not be in the ballot 2027, it will not be easy in 2032 because we are going to have so many governors who will have performed very well and even positioned themselves to become presidents of this country. Plus many other MPs who have large numbers from various parts of this country. Also, we know Matiang'i cannot conduct an opposition like that one of Raila, criticism here and there. It's Gachagua who can do that. So eventually, Matiang'i subsequently, he will not be very active. So the only platform for Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i is performance. He needs to be a president in 2027. Perform for people to re-elect him and consider him in the future. But if he does the politics that does not put him in a position to be considered as a flag bearer, that is like digging his own grave. And the Matiang'i we know, if he's given a chance, indeed he will be loved by most Kenyans. I don't know what is your take, but on the comment section, you can share with me on what you think as far as Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i's nature of politics is concerned. But please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment because that's the best support you can always give this channel. My name is Abdul Mukwa. Thank you so much for following my channel, subscribing, and see you next time for more videos. Thank you so much. Share my video if you can.